as interest rates increase and the cost of living rises, many households are struggling to make ends meet, especially when it comes to meeting debt repayments. This is leading to a concerning trend where consumers are switching loans only to take on more debt. Personal finance columnist Maya Fischer-French joins us now to explain. Good morning to you and thanks for joining us, Maya. Now, how do you, when you're speaking to people on the ground, what are the biggest concerns regarding the levels of debt and also just affordability?
Yeah, I have seen this year, and I have very high engagement with people and readers, and I'm becoming very concerned about what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is that obviously as these interest rates increases, inflation came, all these costs came, people went and accessed revolving credit facilities, things like credit cards or revolving loans, to try and make ends meet. But of course, interest rates just kept climbing, life kept getting more expensive, and they would max these facilities out. And once they maxed the facilities out, they'd go back to the credit provider, who would then convert it into a personal loan, because just technically, a personal loan is actually lower risk for a bank, so they prefer you to move you from a revolving facility to a personal loan, and then they would call it debt consolidation. They say we'd spread your payments out over a period, make it more affordable. But invariably what happens is they would actually offer the person even more credit because it's a personal loan, it's a lower risk to them. So maybe they had a credit facility of 30,000, that gets converted into a personal loan for 50,000 Rand, for example. So I have seen the most unbelievable uptick in credit, taking on credit by individuals over the last year. And when I looked at all the sort of credit bureau information, it really spoke to that as well and supported that information. And now we're seeing the banks increasing provisions around bad debt. So I think this has been a crisis that's been building for a while, and people have just been taking on more and more debt to make ends meet. And I think we really are facing down quite a serious situation right now.
And Maya, what should people do if they find themselves in a situation where they're over-indebted or overexposed?
I think the most important thing is to I run something called the Money Makeover Challenge every year, and we do this every year. And I promise you, people say to me, Maya, I have nothing in my budget I can cut. I promise you, you can. But it starts with tracking your spending. It starts with making sure you know where every rand and cent is going. And once you're doing that, so start writing down everything. Go back over the last 3 months. Where has your money gone? What is it? Because if you are living constantly in credit, it means that you are spending more than you earn. And taking on more debt and getting more debt repayments is not going to get you any, it's not going to solve the problem. So it really is about going back and saying, what can I cut right now? This is hopefully a shorter term, we're going to see interest rates coming down next year, but what can I do now? And I think a lot of people don't do that. They go straight to credit. It's easy. It's so easy to go to your credit card. Go see what is happening to your money on a daily basis. If you have cut, and I'm telling you now, just this year alone, working with my Money Makeover people, one chap's already cut 4,000 Rand off his spend just by reviewing his debit orders and his insurances. Music apps are another big one, takeaways. Once you've done all of that and you really still are struggling to make those debt repayments, first speak to your creditors, but please don't consolidate and take on more debt, okay? That's not the idea. And if you absolutely are indebted, in other words, you cannot, even with speaking to your creditors, then unfortunately you have to consider something like debt review. But I would really enter that with caution and make sure that you do a lot of information and reading about it before you enter it, so you understand the terms and you understand how it works. But I think people really I think it's too easy to take out the credit card, and we're not spending the time going over where our money is actually going on a day-to-day basis. And when I work with people, I see that all the time. There's always something. There's always some room to move, despite the current situation.
Much appreciated, Maya. Thanks indeed. That's personal finance columnist Maya Fischer-French saying, be honest and look at the areas in your budget that you could potentially cut so that you can get yourself out of debt. Always a pleasure, Maya. Really, really appreciate it.